And I'm back. All right, then, chat. Did we have any shenanigans going on while I was away? Or has it been mostly quiet? Did you enjoy following the train around? The Kajinama or the Assault Raven, depending on which direction we were traveling in. How are we doing here? Not doing too badly. Right. Production is going okay. Actually, you know what, though? I really should request these things. That way, it won't produce them if it doesn't need to. There we are. On the way 49. I mean, it does mean that it will potentially only fill that one slot, so there may be other bits in the system still, but I'm not going to worry about that one too much. All right, so I need to go and build more mines, it would seem. Do I have enough gubbins for this? For this mighty quest? Should do. Don't need any of those. Don't need any... Oh, actually, apparently I do need concrete. Never mind. It's good enough. And don't need those. Don't want those. Okay. I think we are more or less in a good state. How many miners did I make? An okay amount. Let me... Yeah, I think that's sufficient. All right, let's go grab the tank and head on back to the south to build up all of the stone mining. But we're very, very quickly approaching the point where I will be building the new jelly nut farm, and then that's it. Then we leave. In fact, whilst I have we built everything we need in the infrastructure mall? Oh, there is one last thing, actually. One last thing. And that is, of course, Tonk construction. I can probably set that up from here. This one should literally be only make one. Right, so Tonk. Got red circuits there. Gonna need gears, steel, and engine units. The engine units I can import. I see no reason not to. So let's just set up the engine unit import. Is that actually how many can be stacked? No. Let's just do that to 50 then, please. Ah, now the problem with that, will this allow? I'm going to need to make that a requester chest then. Specifically. Then it'll be able to pull from buffer chests. There we go. Right, I'm going to want the red circuits, and then it's just steel and gears. Very easily done. Let me move this up. Steel will be here. A little bit more power. And that is Tonka construction. As soon as that inserter is in place, then we have... Oh. Oops. There we are. Might want portable roboport construction too. Ooh, that's actually kind of a good point. No, for that sort of thing, I will likely have a pure import system for that. I'm not going to put that in the mall. These are the items that I want in the mall. But for personal roboports, I think that's something that I will set up a kind of universal constructor for. There we are, we've already got a tonk. Right. Let's hop in this tonk and be on our way. Yeah, what I wanted was to be able to remotely construct stuff. Once I'm off planet, I don't want to have to come back to rebuild something if something breaks. So maybe getting some gear for a tank wouldn't be the worst idea, but I am not in the biggest rush on that. I'm not gonna lie. I would think I would prefer to leave that one if I can. Hopefully we won't need it. And if we do, then I should be able to reconstruct something. But in many places, I actually won't. Like, as long as, well, the tank would only be needed to create the initial station. Because the supply train will bring everything else that an outpost would require. Right, let's upgrade these, because I'm about to put a much greater load on them. Devilfish says, it's nice to be able to remote build though. Yeah, no, it's super nice. Yeah, that's why you got roboports. Let's hit this one first. If you can conceive of a mod for Factorio, it is probably possible to make it. Mod idea, flatbed car to transport tanks for trains. Depumu says already exists. It did not, sorry, rather does not surprise me. Not even slightly on that one, if I'm honest. That's fine. Why am I not pulling these down? Curious. Oh, is it because I'm telling them to trash it? They're not... No? It's weird. Why are they not grabbing these? Oh, it's because they're just damaged. It's not... I hadn't told them to grab it. My bad. Right. Let's get these set up. Yeah, sure, we'll use these. As long as we can, anyway. Let's make a 3-to-1 balancer, sure. For that, we're gonna want something like this. Actually, I'm probably going to downgrade these belts. Just so that they're all the same speed. Let me up. No. There we go. There we go. And then show the 109k one down here. Nope. Ooh, that was kind of awkward. Yeah, I'm going to miss out on some. I'll place that one there then. I'll need to maneuver these a little bit to get everything covered there, but that should be good enough. And as I've said before, when it comes to just a tiny little collection right on the edge, I'll just merge that into a belt. I don't think it's going to have the sort of yield to need anything more than that. Might as well just copy this. There we go. And we're out of any remaining miners. Right. I'll get the rest built as and when the time allows for it. But I'm going to need to go back and get more belts, annoyingly. Oh well. I'm going to steal a train. I'm not... Yeah, ha ha ha! Yes, I am. Now I've got to grab a train that's coming back here, though, which is a bit more of a pain. I'm going to have to hop on every train that's in the depot until I can see what color it's going to be and where it's heading to. Actually, on that note, I should probably make sure that this station color, 84, 93, 76. '84, 93, 76. That way, I can be certain of it. Right, let's hop out. I got so much gubbins to give you. Come collect. No, come back. Oh, okay. Right, are you going the way I want to go? Now, the tricky part here is which side of the train am I going to get out on when it starts moving? Will I die? Is the other way of putting that question. I might die. I did not die. Ha ha! Will Aavak die? The fun new game show. Okay. I'm just going to be waiting for another train. This is where no train is ever going back there. Are all the trains out? Is there another train down there already? No. One there, one there, one there, one here. Not sure where you're going next. Oh, it's actually now starting to fill up with the bots. That's quite cool. That's very, very cool. I'm really happy with that. But it does mean this is slowly filling with things. There's a trickle that it's being dropped off. And off you go. Right, where are you going? Oh, you're going all the way down there. Okay. Right. A stone train will be requested soon because we're out of stone. Tis an inevitability. What happens if you jump out at full speed? Nothing. Unless you're going around a curve and happen to walk back into the train. I would not trust getting out of a train on a corner. Let's just put it that way. Ooh, what's happening? Now this is getting a bit of a fight going on there. I knew I should have just brought the tank. My lord. Oh, the other problem is, of course, that it's going to take a while for the chests to fill up. Oh no, there's definitely enough there. Yeah, it's just cycling through now. 10 seconds passed. Where are we off to? Pump. It's kind of random which one gets called, because it's cycling through the different options. So right now it's just stone and jelly nuts that are left. Ah, finally. I could have just driven the tank to me, yeah. But where's the fun in that? Way to ruin Will Aavak Die? The game show. I'm just gonna have to think of another idea now. Do you know how hard it is to come up with ideas, Dufferfish? There we go. I would like to, if I can, always upgrade the single belt. And then have the secondary belts not worry too much about it. Sorry, like the actual mines not worry too much about it. Because these are the ones that are going to be moving the most product. Since they're condensing several lines down into one place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'll get these built. And then I think we're going to say build stone mine is complete. I'm also going to say build basic infrastructure mall complete. In terms of automatic materials, I mean, I could set this up. Might not be the worst idea ultimately. Steel, gears, red circuits, and batteries. So basically this. A little bit vexing. If I were to set it up down here, it's squiff then, which is deeply upsetting. But just for the sake, because that is literally the minimum that I would require to be able to build anything I need. And batteries, which are not actually being stored anywhere, which is a problem thinking about it. I should pop those into a buffer chest. Requesting batteries. No, not personal batteries. Batteries. With a conditional making sure that this is only active if the batteries in the chest are lower than the stack size. Oh, wow, 200. The stack size of a single stack of batteries. There we go. Now I need to import that. I'm going to need to request it to do that. So I may as well just grab this. Oh my lord, I'm going to need somewhere to drop it off too. Ooh. Go. Oh wow. Alright, fair enough. That was very good. We're going to move this. I'm going to pop this there. Going to have a passive provider, and we're done. That's all I needed to... At this point, I can deploy a tank, load it with rocket fuel, request munitions, and a personal roboport, and bots. Everything else is secondary. I can make that as and when. Hey, Shah, how far is Aavak from Spidertrons? Quite a ways. Quite a ways. Our research is god-awful right now. And that is why. It is largely because, I don't know, on the way 150? Why? Why on the way 150? Oh. That is disgusting. I don't want a passive provider chest. That might be why it's not been going anyway. It's just been sat in there just slowly getting fouled up. Yeah. No, that's exactly what was happening. Oh my lord, I didn't even think of that. That if it rotted whilst being loaded into the silo, that it wouldn't be able to launch the rocket, because it would be like, well, I meant to send up 1,000, but I've only got 100. Man, how vexatious. Let's make sure that they can empty out much faster. There we go. All right, science should resume. Okay, so we wanted to set up a new farm. My concern with this farm, though, is it's not a lot of room for me to build up the defenses. Maybe this would be the better farm. Even though it would merge the spores, which is not really what I wanted. The whole point was to have them further apart. That's a decent one. Till I've got overgrowth soil, that's not going to work for me. Unfortunately. go. I am a little concerned about trying to fit this in there. Especially because we don't have the materials to even finish this design right now. I may... Yeah, we could, for the time being, just draw a line under build a new jelly nut farm. I'm not going to worry about the state machine for the loading and unloading as much as this is radically inefficient. I think I'm happy enough with it for now. The one thing, if we made a state machine for loading and unloading, is that I would stop having to cycle through items, so I could literally just say, hey, I've unloaded everything I needed to. I've loaded everything I needed to. Now I can simply empty, you know, doing them in whatever order. So at that point, I know exactly what I have and what I can load. So I don't need to just cycle every second and a half to a new item. I can just load whatever is the most, that I have the most of until that's finished loading. Can you make your own farm area with the special soil? I can't make it. Like, I can probably do it here. This soil. I don't think I can do it. No, that's already filled in. Basically, there's two types. There's the really pink stuff there. Like, if I grab... You notice how... If I zoom out, that... I can't grow on. I think that's already there. But... Oh, am I using the right soil here? Yeah, I can't put any... Oh, really? Hang on a second. Maybe I was looking at the wrong thing. Because there's quite a lot in here that I can't build anything on. Oh. You know what? Maybe I am quite confused. All right. Oh, I think it's this is the stuff that you can't build on. I was making a big mistake with that. Let me just double check. Yeah, I can't build this there, but I can here. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's two types of soil in each biome. There's the one that you can use just the basic soil for, and the stuff that you can use the overgrowth soil for. Also, hello Vanya Loswin, how you doing? Well, that certainly makes things easier. That makes things much easier. All right. Well, we're still going to be going out in this direction no matter what. Well, actually, I could even set up another farm down here. I could probably fit one in right there. Still going to be up against the walls, though, which is not ideal. Exhausted this week, but happy to be joining you. Oh, well, I hope that you have the rest of the week is more relaxing than it has been up to now. I guess. I'm sorry to hear you're feeling tired, though. Either here is a bit too close, and honestly, so is this one. I would rather have the farm a bit further away. Over there is amazing. But now I better understand how to read the map. Maybe even here. The problem is all these locations have such horrible cliffs that are going to make building out any significant farm quite the pain in the backside. I guess over here wouldn't be terrible. The whole point is to have it more distant from this so that the spores do not converge. Down here wouldn't be terrible, I guess. As long as these are like copper deposits or iron deposits. Can't the agricultural tower still plant if a cloud isn't? Do you mean cliff? A cliff is a non-buildable structure. So the tile, the pixels that represent this grid coordinate here, I wouldn't be able to build anything on. And it's not the agricultural tower I'm worried about, it's the defenses. The footprint of a base is quite large because of the defensive structure I build around it. As in here, that might not be a bad one. Yeah, we should be able to do that. If I take the trains out in this direction. Yeah, okay. Let's go and do that. Let's not get run over though. That would suck. Right, off we go. Right, the big issue that I'm going to face, the biggest one at least, is that when I build this, it's going to demand an awful lot of supplies. Which may put quite a bit of strain on the rest of the network. For the time being, at least. I'm going to need to clear this area though, sadly. Hello. There we are. Let's just pop all of these. May as well collect these while I'm here. All right. That is going to make getting through this area significantly easier. All right, let's get everything out of my inventory as well. There we are. Okay. Right then. So If I want to set up a secondary farm, far enough away not to cause me issues. And we're really realistically looking at somewhere like this, or the original plan over here, because that is still quite a nice area. I wonder if I were to just take a copy of this, like so, and then just try and position it. There's so much land that I would struggle to place things down on. But I think I would, in fact, be able to fit the defenses. I think there's a cliff there. That would be a struggle for me. But I might just be able to fit it in here. The alternative is to fit it down here, which I would almost certainly be able to do. Quite comfortably, in fact. A long rail. It would be quite a long rail. If I did build here, would I be able to build over the ocean with landfill? I think so. Oops. I think that would work. I'd need to clear out that nest though. One thing about the pentapods though is they've got egg rafts. They seem to only really exist in the marshy areas. And this is the marshy area where the eggs would realistically pop up. So if I were to build here, then it is a good chance that I wouldn't have to worry about it. Though by that token, no, again, the cliffs here are just the annoyance. Down here would also work, but again, annoyance because of the cliffs. All right. I think I've got a bit of an idea. Come on. Why? Why are you like this? Ugh. There we go. I may try the raised rails here, actually. I'm not really sure how this is going to function, but we'll give it a shot. Because I'm going to be going over water, so I'm going to need a lot of rails. Do I just connect it like that? Yes. And then I guess I just build it out like so. And will this only need landfill beneath the supports? One would assume so, but game logic doesn't always follow real world logic. Yep. It's kind of hard to see where is drivable for the tank and where is not. Oh my lord. Okay, I think I can see the shadow now. That does make it rather awkward to get out here and... Oh, wow, okay. So that's going to be a pain in the backside. I'm going to have to do that part by train, I guess. Either that or landfill my way out there just so I can get in range. Did I... Ah, beautiful. That's fine then. We're going to need a... I'm going to say we want a pass around here. Let's try and bring these together. Ooh. Why so many? Not even sure that's buildable now. We'll see. Also, let's add in the signals on there. On here. Yeah, it seems that there is a bit of weirdness when it comes to blueprinting rails. Because that, I can't imagine that that is how that one is going to have to be. Could be wrong, but... Right, why can't you be placed? Maybe it just flat out needs that one. Okay. Let's see what's happening. It's all fine. Right. These are just small stompers. So, oh, we've got a 2% big stompers now. That is scary. That is very scary, actually. Not sure I want to see what the big version is. I don't think I'm gonna get a choice, though. Let's pop you. Wow. There we go. Mischief managed. Let's head back to base, drop these off, and then get back down here, finish building out this. If we can minimize the amount of landfill I need, I will be very happy. What level explosive research am I at? Asks Duffelfish. I am at level 7 for explosives currently. Too bad the tank can't shoot rockets, or do explosive tank rounds count? They might count. I mean, these already do explosion of 320. I wonder how much do these do? Well, that's 960 explosion. Maybe they would actually be better. Maybe the explosives would actually be better just because of the resistances. I'm not entirely sure on that one though. Please no squish. Can you walk on the elevated tracks? Good question. Oh, apparently no. No, you cannot. Thank you very much, chat. You saved me for science. The piercing power is 1000 here, whereas this has got 100 for explosive tank shells. I'm not sure what piercing power actually means, I'm going to be honest with you. Within terms of the game. No idea. Right, okay, so I'm gonna say I could probably build this area more or less anyway here. So where do I want to build it? Is the big question. Many of these locations would be fine. That less so. But here, for example, should be okay, I guess. Even down here would be fine. I've got to remember that whenever I build it, I need to then protect it. Maybe right there. I mean, we've got this little spot here that seems already so useful. Let's just try and pop it here. I mean, the walls can go underneath that, so I'm not even sure we need it. So let's see what we can do. Oh, it's a plonk that there. I need to go and get one. And also I'm going to want the soil to go with it. So I'm going to want to request the jelly nut soil. Only one of the rails is connected to the ramp. Yeah, I noticed that one. Or rather, I noticed that it looked a little bit dubious. I was going to pay a little bit more attention when I was setting that up. Hopefully we've got a bunch of bots on the way. Yep, we do. Oh dear. Was that a big stompy? No, it was mostly mines that went up. That's fine. We're producing enormous amounts of those. And I can always expand out the minefield. Also, what I'm going to need for this, I need 20 spoilage. Let's request some. Probably not going to get any. So let's just go and grab some myself then. There we go. I would laugh if I got run over by a train at this point. I would actually genuinely just cackle. Got almost to the point of leaving Gleba before Gleba took me out. It'd be perfect. Right, I would like to use this. Make this. Oops. That. There we go. I will need a lot more, apparently. That's fine. I can see where I'm not going to be building. That's the main thing. So, I'm going to want a train blueprint. That's an unloading station. Oh, no, actually, no, this is the correct one. This is the loading station. I could have it here. No particular reason not to. Actually, other than the tank being in the way, and it'll then break a bunch of stuff once it isn't in the way. It's fine. Now, the big issue here would be whether this can connect up to that rail correctly or not. So, god damn it, I knew it. Alright, let's cancel out then. Whoop. Let's try and sort that out first. There we go. Okay, and since this doesn't need specialist landfill, should be fairly easy to sort out. Says with confidence that he doesn't actually have. Okay, need to go and grab more gubbins then. And as for you, gonna want more or less this. There you go. Right, let's go and grab more landfill, more bits and bobs. I'm going to want another station, so let's just make that quickly. Okay. Cliffs are always in my way. I don't know how you do it. Why does everyone complain about cliffs all the time? They're never in my way. Very well done. I mean, if you're willing to work around them, then it can make for some very organic looking bases. There we go. Cliffs get blamed as much as 9. I mean, yes. That is a very big dead pentapod there. What are we doing? Actually, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Seeing far less spoilage making it down this side of the belt. A little bit now and then, but not too much. Over here, it's again, actually, just a little bit for the most part. There we are. These have emptied out. Pridwan is in orbit. Is requesting science packs. They should be on the way. I am lacking regular landfill now. That is probably going to be a constant thing. Uh-oh. Whew. I saw the lights change and I panicked. I never use mines, but seeing this, I don't think I ever will. They're very good, but the alerts would kill me. Oh, those aren't mine. Oh, do you mean like when they're being attacked? That's just a consequence of, you know, things being destroyed. It's not the mines that are alerting this. It's the lack of landfill underneath them that's causing that alert to kick off. The mines are getting replaced super fast as it happens. It is not a tricky one at all, that. Let's fix the... There we are. Perfect. Now, we very much do not have the requisite landfill, unfortunately. We're gonna need to hook up a separate station. Oh, yeah, no, you're looking for to get over here, aren't you? Yes, you are. I'm going to enable this only if... just remind me that I've done this. A is greater than 0, which means it's disabled. There we go. Just remind me that I have shut this down for now. I need a separate station, and that needs to be a delivery station. The issue is, I have not since bookmarked this. Now that I have a bunch of new bits to go with the blueprint. Drat. Okay, let me update this then. I obviously don't want that one. Train stop names. Don't bring the tiles, just the entities. That'll do. This way it'll keep the priority system. Oh, damn, I didn't want that. The C one either. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter in this case. Now, how does that one usually wire up? Yeah, just that. Just need to hook it up to the C output here. This one can go, we'll use it on the red carriers, red channel. Oh, damn it. There we go. And this should have a simple setup of if C is above 0, then it's active. Should be requesting jelly nut seeds. Yeah, there we go. Right, so the farm at this point would be functional. But of course, I want to make sure that there's defenses around it. And that is the much more arduous task. Let's just drag this along. There we go. And then we just need to hook it up to... That will do. Right. Let's hop in the tank, head back out. Need to grab the last little bits and bobs. Come on. You know you can do it. I know you can do it. There we are. Right, beyond that, the defenses are going to be a massive project. I was hoping that I could just cut and paste the defenses we already had, but I suspect that's not going to be that easy, unfortunately. Right, let's drop a bunch of things off. We've got like 8 landfill on the way. The pain. How much of this can go in a rocket? 20. 0.2 stack. All right. We're not having Pridwen bring along any landfill, sadly. Must make that locally or not at all. How's the mine? Actually, the mine down here is doing quite well. If we had enough room to set up more trains, I think this system would be significantly better. Right, where are you heading off to first? Pretty much we want all of them. Thing is that is going through quite randomly. Oh. You know what's happening here? Because I have something that sends it back to the depot if it has no path, it's refreshing constantly instead of just waiting for a signal that it can use. Right, I'm going to take that out and we'll see how that works. I think that's been causing a lot of problems in that if it saw a task that it couldn't fulfill, it would go back to the depot and would immediately get stuck again. In fact, depot 5 seconds. Let's pop that in 5 seconds instead. No, it's still doing the 5 seconds past. Okay. Never mind then. Oh well. Things are going where they need to go ultimately. That's the main thing. Got 98 landfill. Nice. Okay, that'll be a good start. I do like that. Okay, a little bit more to do, but we're almost complete here. We are going to want one more station. Another roboport. I'll have to pick... Well, actually, once the station's there, it'll deliver most of these things itself. I'm not even sure that I need another roboport, actually. I think it's just the landfill here. Unfortunately, this is going to be the boring bit while we wait to get the landfill I need in order to finish building this out. There's not much I can do about that. Sleep well, Manic Manifer. There we go. Sadly, I must say goodnight before we get off the spoiled rock. If there is a poll for the next planet, and should any dapper baron be willing to cast a vote for me, I was hoping to get some artillery going. Have a rotting good time zone. So that would be a vote for Vulcanus then. I wonder then, do the stompers just destroy the mines prior to them being able to detonate? Because if that's the case, then maybe I want to spread the mines out a lot more instead of having them so densely packed. If I'm wasting mines, don't hold back. By all means, let me know. Yeah, it's just a matter of waiting now for a stone train to come along. Sounds like experimentation time for mine placement. I don't have the time to, but if someone else would like to, by all means, it would be appreciated. Wow, the problem is that that's already immediately going back out for more jelly nut. And until we get a situation where I have multiple farms for jelly nut, trying to revisit the same farm moments after another train has just dropped off is not going to do anything. Stompers are weird in the sense they only start stomping once they aggro, and mines don't cause aggro. Really? Okay. Reminder, the A signal, yes. Yep. I need to finish the route first, because unless there's a supply train, it'll never get seeds. But all the trains are everywhere else. I am wondering about having this just slowly cycle through, though. Rather than just randomly pick something. Because as it stands, that does not result in particularly good distribution of trains. That being said, maybe another one wouldn't be a terrible idea. Of course, it probably helps if I've made them. I'm going to need some engines. That might not be a bad thing to add to them all. Is the train components, or rather the locomotives. Oh, wow. Oh, double wow. Why is there no bullets here? Why oh, it's because there's so many bullets on the line. That said, this still should be requesting something at this point. I would have thought. This one wants 1k bullets. This is what's available in the network. Oh no, it's what's on the belt. Fair enough. There's already 1.2k bullets on the belt. It just needs to cycle back around. Okay, that's not too scary then. Let's add those to the system. Sorry, the logistics network. Get them out where they need to be. Don't need those anymore. Get that one out where it needs to be. I have actually... have you tried 1 to 4 trains on Falcora? 1-4 trains, rather. Basilot says, I have actually. Works pretty well. Noted. Right, let's get those out here and hopefully building that. We are now working on the Spidertron. Please just send them over there. There we go. Right, I want you to have some rocket fuel. You will be part of the cargo trains. And as soon as fuel is brought down here, there we go. Right, hopefully. So now start to work. To be fair, we're barely getting the fruit through the line anymore. Lost 2 turrets. Hardly that much of a concern, to be honest. Right, that one is going down to the stone mine, I believe. Yep. Okay. Hopefully having an extra train in the network is going to alleviate some of the stress that we've got going on. We'll see. Right. I have currently got only 37 landfill. That is absolutely not enough. Therefore, I'm going to steal some. Right. With that, I'm off. Do the pentapods go for the farms only, or can they be triggered by the farms and attack anything? I think they can be triggered by the farms and would then attack anything. But I've only ever really seen them go for the farms. So it's very hard to say. Okay, all of the lines are in place. All right, I'm going to need another one over here just to make sure that this is within network. That's fine. Okay. Not a huge amount of missing landfill anymore. All right. Now then, time for us to start placing down the defenses, I guess. Not sure how they're going to interact here. I might need to do something a little bit more bespoke for that. So if I was to build something here, and then start building it out from there. Nope. Needed to be a little bit higher. Never mind, I had it the wrong way around. Now, of course, I want the corner pieces. Therein is the problem. Corner pieces won't easily fit at this location, so I'm probably going to have to move everything up a little bit. That's all right, though. Go ahead and do that. Now, will that fit on the far side, I wonder? Actually, let's put this down properly. That way it'll have the right orientation. It does... kind of fits. I'll need the bridge to skip a little bit, but we can definitely have that in that configuration, sure. I'm just going to need some roboports in there. This is a much tighter build, but this can be the back entrance. Even though these are on stilts, I'll probably just run a wall or something. They only seem to go for the farms themselves, but nothing in between. Unless it attacks them, like turrets. Right, okay. Or walls if they can't get to the farms in a straight path. But I wouldn't recommend walls on Gleba. Oh, really? Sander says, yeah, I've had the weird experience of a stomper peacefully walking through my base after an artillery struck its nest from the other side. Ongoing aggro once engaged, though. I build the walls to deal with the wrigglers, which can't get over them. Because when a stomper goes down, or a strafer for that matter, but strafers aren't the problem. Strafers tend to go down far beyond my perimeter because they like to stay at range, but a stomper will quite often go down on top of my turrets. And then hatch a bunch of wrigglers. So I have the walls to try and compartmentalize them. So if they, for example, went down here, they'd be stuck in these little cells and wouldn't easily be able to engage turrets. If they were up here, they'd only have these turrets to engage, whereas all of these could engage them, so on and so forth. That's why I build it that way. Right, let's Pop down. View. Though I will confess, a large part of anything I do in this is just because it looks nice. And I am not afraid to admit it. Right, at this point, I'm pretty much going to want exactly what I've got up here, so I may as well just copy it. Yeah. I will once again, though, use the blueprint tool correctly to place the corner section. Yeah, this is a much tighter build. Quite happy with it. With one potential issue, but only one that I can think of. But there is a potential issue. And that potential issue is that I would like, once we have artillery properly researched, to be able to, for example, build an artillery train and have that head on down to the various stops along the route and, you know, do artillery train things. Gonna want to take out the track because that one won't be useful here. That was not what I meant to do. Let's undo that. There we go. So I'll have my little route out. And everything else should be solid. Oh! We have got our first delivery. Marvellous. Oh, I'm going to need to create a the little storage bunker. Let's go and drop some things off there. That way, all of the bots will immediately start doing things because there'll be stuff for them to do. Now, big question here is I'm going to want these ones, not these ones. My bad. Yeah, they did get enough. Okay, cool. All right. Turning off the enable disable. Perfect. All right. At this point, this place will now be able to build itself, for the most part. Hey, Six Genie, thank you so much for the 35 months. Diolch yn fawr iawn. How are you doing, mate? Egg rafts indeed need shallow water to spawn or expand, said the Toric 52 minutes ago. Really? You're genuinely going to stop me, you scoundrel. Right. Well, let's head... Oh, why am I trying to drive through the gate that doesn't exist? Oh, no. Oh, that is exactly what I've done, though. I have, in fact, made this area effectively inaccessible. Due to the fact that I have built it right out into the deep water. Right, more supply trains will be heading down there. Right, let's drop a bunch of things off. They can be picked up, taken where they need to be, and everything else should be good. Except you're going to give me priority on all of these good things, aren't you? You know, I'm kind of okay with it, I'm not going to lie. Right. On the plus side, at least the trains are visiting, which is prompting the farm to plant. Because it's only active if a train is on the way or in the station. They won't stay here very long, sadly. But given time, this place will start producing a decent amount, I should imagine. I must have copied that. I must have the blueprints incorrect there. It was not recognizing that the train was in the station. So it was always going to be the highest priority station for any of the fruit delivery trains to take. Got a lot of trains trying to come up here. There we go. Last of that built. All right. At this point, it's just letting the trains do their own thing. It's going to take a little while before the whole area is properly hooked up, but that's just a matter of time for the supply train, really. Also going to need more seeds. Often more seeds. Right, at this point, I'm going to say no to that. I'm probably going to say no to this as well. Because the bot network should be able to build the rest of this place. And that's ultimately what I want for all of my bases. Once we've got more production buildings and setup from the other planets, what I would love is to have a system where I just plonk down a station and then pretty much everything else, like, it delivers all the things that the outpost needs to build itself up. So is this a new planet? No, this is still Kleber. But we're more or less done with everything now. That was done. The state machine, I'm not going to worry about it for now. It is definitely worth me doing. But it isn't critical. The system works, it just works slowly. I would love it not to work slowly, but alas, earwax. What I need is a delivery of supplies, but that's not going to happen because that's the priority 9, priority 4, priority 2. So a supply train will come here relatively soon. But at this point, we now have trains pretty much constantly on the move. Can I make... yeah, I think I'm going to try and make another train. Let's call in the engines. I'll aim to make 2 new trains. We need about 1 million walls. Heyo, if you joined her, how you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for the 65 months. One, 2, and then we'll do the same again. But the idea of setting up the state machine for the loading and unloading of the supply train would allow me to make the supply stops at each outpost, load the train with anything that isn't requested by the outpost, so miscellaneous stuff, like things that it is deconstructed whilst, or rather collected whilst deconstructing, or rather harvesting like trees and things while it's preparing an area to be built on. Or for that matter, if I tell the outpost to, using a deconstruction planner, to break down the shell of a stomper. Also, how do we have enough power / electricity to run this place? We are burning lots and lots of spoilage. We got a little bit of power coming in from my solar panels, but mostly it's just spoilage being burnt. These things are constantly running. And every now and then, this will grab some rocket fuel to burn if the temperature gets too low. And we make rocket fuel more or less out of fruit, so we've got a functionally limitless supply. More or less, the only thing that are really pulling power are these. All of this is using nutrients. Oh, have we finished that? We kind of have, actually. Marvelous. Okay, so the minefield is set up. So now, what? Oh, there we are. Perfect. The supply train coming down. As that hit the highest priority. There we go, just emptying things out as needed. And little by little getting everything set up. Ooh, actually, one thing. Yeah, I am actually requesting all 3. That's good. Have you been sent any seeds? You have. It took a while for the seeds to get here, though, which was a pain. Hey, Skull Ghost, how you doing, buddy? 110 months. My lord. Leafy Pew says, fruity rocket fuel? What? How can I get it? For science reasons. Red Bull. Monster. Or my personal favorite, Sneak. Right, let's set up a... I'm going to put it in the stacker, actually. There we go. Is that within construction range? Yes, good. Skulgo says, morning, I'm good. How about you, Aavak? I'm doing well. We are more or less ready to leave Gleba at this point. It's a very nice feeling, I must confess. Very, very nice feeling. Right, that's all I want from that. Right, now the big issue with this place is it has no actual defenses. So we're reliant on this setting up the gun turrets quickly. Because if not, bad things are going to happen. The issue is, currently, our supply train is going to go to all the other locations first. Improving the bullet train system would probably have the biggest impact on this area, in my opinion. And I think the big part is that this train will completely unload and then completely reload before going out for a run. Now that's one of the only ways that I can make it truly cargo agnostic. But I do wonder if it might be better to just have a dedicated bullet train. Are we gonna get any fuel down here? Oh, my bad. There you go. What do you mean no stops at this now? Right there. Oh, no, my bad, my bad. Wrong planet. There we go. There we are. Now it's going to fully load fuel. Then head on out. And as we add more trains, we make the whole system a little bit more responsive. Currently, this was the last bullet train, and it's now unloading its inventory before taking on the next job. You're heading off to get some stone by the looks of it, which is very much appreciated. You are going to go off and be a bullet train, which is also very much appreciated. Don't know what you're going to do. We will find out shortly. You have no job. Nowhere needs you right now. That's fine. Alright then, chat. I think 'tis time for me to prep for leaving. We're coming up to the 7-hour mark. And it's quite early for me. So as much as I want to stay for a lot longer, probably not going to be. So I think... Ooh. Hang on a second. Are we out of construction robots? No, we got plenty of construction robots. We just need more trains to deliver stuff. That's all. But I think what we're going to do is... I'm going to go on a tea break. We're going to run a poll. We're going to pick which planet we're going to next between Fulgora and Vulcanus. Vulcanus is where you get cliff explosives. It's where you get the larger mining, mining setup, I guess, mining rig. The foundry, or Fulgora, where we would get the recycler, the Tesla turret, and the super batteries, that sort of thing. There is a electromagnetic, electromag fabricator, kind of like the production facilities in Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, kind of stitching things together out of bolts of lightning. Yeah, it's deconstructed items waiting for pickup. This is what I realized suddenly. Ooh, hello. My. You're quite close, aren't you? They are Angie. Possibly. Possibly Angie. I should probably go and deal with them. Yeah, let's go and deal with them before they become a problem. Yeah, that one was a bit of a chunky boy, wasn't it? Let's hopping you. Honk Chan! Indeed. Honk Chan, Best Chan. Okay. Let's go deal with those pentapods before they come to deal with us. Gonna have to go the long way around. Hey Osumi, thank you so much for the tier 3, buddy. Welcome back. 114 months. That is a lot of months, mate. That is an awful lot of months. Oh my god, that's an awful lot of stompers. Greatly disapprove. Let's remove you, shall we? Before you cause me untold misery. There we go. You know what? Let's just remove you as well. Honestly easier for me to take these things out with my machine gun. Not easier for me to take those out though. Force them to follow me so they line up. There we go. Right, mischief managed. I'll go collect the eggs because I can. I'll feed them to the furnace if nothing else. Oh, there we go. Problem sorted. Now the big issue with doing anything like that is when you kill nests, spawners, That's when you really ramp up the frustrations of the plant. That's what causes the highest impact to evolution. I still think the flamethrower tank would deal with the swarm with ease. Save on ammo too. Miloxil, I have no means of making flamethrower ammo. You're probably right. They have no particular resistance to flames, but I would need to ship the flamethrower ammo in via spaceship, and if it follows the pattern of all other ammo types, that would be exorbitantly expensive. I could move 100 on a rocket, so an entire rocket for one stack of flamer arrow. I don't know how fast it goes through this stuff, but because I don't have crude oil on Gleba, which is wild considering Gleba, you know, is very, you know, dense biosphere, and complex creatures too. You'd expect that it had plenty of time for whatever evolved into them to have become oil. But because I lack the means of producing the flamer fuel locally... Uh-oh. All of them gone. Wow. 207 mines gone in an instant. What the heck? Is 100 ammo quite a bit? Okay. But thank you again so much, Isumi, for the incredibly generous and very long-standing support. Diolch yn fawr, mate. How much raw crude can you bring in? Can you even ship liquids? I guess you could move it on barrels. You'd be able to move 100 barrels. So 5,000 per rocket, which would mean you'd be able to make, if it's only 5,000, how much does this make? Does it make one, or does it make 100 crude oil? I'm feeling like I must be looking at the numbers wrong here, because that feels like an incredibly small amount of ammo for the amount of crude going into it. Does this craft more than one? No, it should say 2x or 10x or something then. Oof, that is not a good return. Yeah, 4 times landmine, yeah. Yikes. So no, we won't be bringing in the... transporting the fuel directly. We might go ahead and bring the flamer fuel itself over though. But for now, that's not a priority for me. All right. Well, like I said, time for a tea break, and that is probably going to be where we wrap up Gleba for now, at least until I have the means of securing significantly more, a more spacious area to build the base, and then we are going to be going hard into Gleba 4.0. I've got many plans. Many plans. As for the Spidertron, we are about halfway there. We're not producing much science right now, sadly. Largely due to the spoilage of the science by the time it gets there. We don't have a lot of science labs right now, unfortunately. And so we're not really getting the throughput on science that I would like. I am strongly tempted to dramatically improve that. Can I? Oh, no. I couldn't get on the space platform. Deep sadness. Let me on! Sad. Can I get on? Let me on. I wish to be on. Let me on. Peridwen? Don't leave. Let me on. Ah, poop. Peridwen is left. Oh, I need to have an empty inventory. Of course. I completely forgot about that. Can I move my... Yeah, I can. Huapow and Huapow. Did I use that for anything? No. No, we can get rid of that one. Okay. Well, time to turn off all of my groups. Every single one of them. And trash unrequested. Once we've dropped all of this off, we will hopefully be able to board the next rocket. My lord, waterproof bubbles. Calm thyself. But we're going to get all of this. Oh, actually, I could easily just throw it into one of these, thinking about it. Yeah, the vast majority of the things that got destroyed there were the... were the mines. I can't remember. Do I need to get rid of these as well? Let's just assume that I do. There we are. Yeah, you don't have to unequip weapons, nor do you have to unequip armor. You can take armor, including armor with modules in it and such. That's not any issue. Basiloth, I'm sorry. You've tried to invoke the name of the Devil's Brew. For shame. Alright. We are now, I would assume, well, we're not actually completely empty yet. And... Come on. What? There we go. Perfect. I will hop on to the space platform when we return. But until then, like I said, we're going on a tea break now. So it's time at long last for us to do another poll on which will be our second planet. The choices are Vulcanus and... Is it Felgora? Falgora? Fulgora. You're going to have 10 minutes to vote. And I'm going to take 10 minutes to make my tea. The poll shall start now. There you go. Enjoy your opportunity to thwart my swift and easy passage through this game by giving me a load of things to do and probably trying to do it in the worst possible order for me. You scoundrels. I'm on to you. Yep. Everything there seems about right. All right. Gonna step away now. When we return, we'll know where we're going. See you soon, chat.